I would like to take a moment before we get into today's main episode and to talk about my sponsor for the podcast. Podmatch is a new podcasting site dedicated to all podcasters. The platform helps hosts get connected with potential guests to appear on their show, as well as allow guests to find podcasts that will give them a chance to share their story. Podmatch offers many tools to help organize your page, from to-do lists to episode planning to potentially appearing on a leaderboard. Podmatch has it all. The best part, you have the potential to get paid. And who doesn't like to get paid from home? I like to. With an easy sign up, you can start connecting with podcasters and guests immediately. I have been a part of Podmatch since the beginning of May, and I have got to say that it was the best decision I've ever made because Podmatch helps your podcast grow. It helps you get connected with people that have very interesting, very compelling background stories that are just waiting for their story to be shared. So if you are a host or guest and would like to start building professional relationships, explore more opportunities, and have your story shared, I highly suggest that you sign up with Podmatch today by going to joinpodmatch.com/lethal venom to start expanding your network in seconds. I would like to give another huge thank you to Podmatch for sponsoring this episode. Now on to our main episode, and again, you can sign up at joinpodmatch.com/lethal venom to begin your podcasting journey today. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lethal Venom Podcast, the show where I talk about anything I want with the honest to God truth, no lies told. Today I'm joined by Mr. Vincent Hazenboom. He is a Dutch thought leader, podcast host, and emotional guide for men seeking more than surface level success. He is the host of the HowToHeartShow. He helps men break free from addiction, people pleasing, and inner struggle by reconnecting to their heart and leading from a place of truth. Through his own raw journey of healing, sensitivity, and purpose, Vincent empowers others to embrace real strength, the kind that starts within. So, Vincent, thank you so much for coming on today, and I can't wait for a conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Now, if you could introduce yourself and feel free to tell a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, I'm like you said, Vincent Hazenboom. I'm 39 years old. I live in the Netherlands, and most of my life I lived in fear. And I was really addicted to video games and pornography until 2014. There, I got a wake-up call from my higher self. I was during playing video games, and that feeling, that voice was so vivid that I just put my controller down and I just looked around if somebody was in the room. But there was no one there, and I just said to myself, I need to do something. I need to change. So the next day, I went to see my parents. I told them I need to get help. It was really difficult, but I felt that I had to do it. And I made an appointment with the doctor the next couple of days. And from there, I explained my situation. I always felt triggers, anxiety, and I wasn't functioning at all. And he said, I will send you to a therapist to see what we can do. So I went there a couple of weeks later, and I remember really vivid. I was standing in front of a big red door, and I walked in and I sat down and I talked to her, and she asked me, like, Vincent, what do you do in life? And I just broke down. I started to cry and I said, I don't do anything. I have no life. I'm just playing video games and watching porn, and that's it, and working. And she said, well, Vincent, don't worry. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna give you any drugs. So I dodged the bullet there, but I will send you to group therapy. And I went there and I just discovered that I had a lot of trauma, a big, huge backpack that I was carrying for decades. And from there, I started to realize I can do something about it. And there started my journey for self-development. And I started to read books. I started to go into courses, coaches. But what I was doing was building this wall of protection. And I realized I wasn't taking any action. I was just protecting myself by using books, courses. So I kept myself safe for years after that. But I went through a lot and I saw that there was a lot of men struggling a lot, and I've been there. I've done a lot of reading. I've gained a lot of experiences. So I said I have to do something about it. I have to start a podcast. And really inspiration from Living from the Heart, the How to Heart show, is because of a dating coach that I work with John Cooper, and he uses the social artistry. So it's really operating in life from the heart. And I got so inspired by it that I decided I want to teach men to do the same. And from there, I just went on. But it was also trauma that came on the corner. I had to solve a lot of issues, confidence building. So it was quite a journey, but really addiction that was so hard, so difficult. I struggled that for years after my therapy.
So, when you had the porn addiction, was there something that was going on in your life that kind of helped, that didn't help and made your porn addiction worse?
I didn't have any girlfriends and I felt really lonely and alone. And for me, there was a way of coping. For me, it was safe because I really feared rejection, the no's, and the hurts. So for me, porn was a safe way to avoid rejection. But afterwards, I also masturbated to it and I felt so bad afterwards and so depressed. But I always grabbed back to it because it was safe. But during my journey with the psychologist, I realized that it was my mom rejected me when I was younger, and she basically punished me, but she didn't really know how to tell me about it or talk to me about it. So as a child for 12 years old, he sees it like, oh, so I'm not good enough and women are dangerous. And that was the trauma. So I realized with the psychologist, there was really the trauma that was in the front seat because every time I wanted to interact with the woman or with a girl when I was younger, I just froze. I couldn't move, and if I wanted to speak, I was stuttering and I was shaking constantly. And I really thought something was bad to me, something was wrong with me, but it was really the trauma that was driving in the front seat. So I had to heal that first for me in order to function better and normally.
Yeah, the only reason why I asked that question was because a lot of people don't ask, but I had a porn addiction too when I was younger. I was probably 13, which that was some people that might be younger, or to some people here in the South that would be like, well, that was a little late. But it was more, um, mine was just an accident. I didn't really know what porn was at the time. It just kind of popped up on my phone. It was just like an accident. I can't fully remember or having a moment where it actually had happened, where, oh, bam, it's on my phone. But I was in that mindset of it was kind of an escape. It helped me kind of escape from what was going on in the world, and was actually a way to me to just not focus and have to worry about anything. Um, I didn't do like jerking off or nothing during that time because I didn't know what that was, really, still at the time. So I would just always watch it. But um, I ended up did getting caught watching it. That wasn't a fun conversation. But after that, we kind of did some steps. So mine was kind of driven from depression and as an escape. For when it comes to the porn addiction, do you still have urgencies or like tendencies to watch it, or is it still like, for me, I still watch it, but it's not as bad as it was before.
Well, I also wanted to share first how it for me started. It wasn't the phone because for me it was I was in school and some guys told me like, "Hey, there's a porn site and blah blah blah," and I got curious, so I checked it out. And once I saw it and I masturbated to it, I just a rush of dopamine, and I was hooked from the start, and I couldn't quit until I was 38. So even though I did a lot of work, I tried so hard to quit. I told myself, okay, today it's no more, I'm done. But then it just creeped in. It's like, oh, maybe just one more time. I did something really good today. So I just have this false this false way of giving something good back to me, but it was just so toxic, and I always just talk myself back into it. And especially when I went out on a bar or a club and I didn't talk to anybody, I just felt so bad, and I just went home and just watched and masturbated just to get to sleep. And it was really difficult really to quit because it was always creeping in the mind like, oh, maybe one time, or I'm gonna watch today. But now with the healing journey, I don't, I it pops in my head, but I don't have the urges of the desire to watch, because now I'm interacting with women, I'm talking, I do salsa dancing, so I remove the pornography really with really interacting with women, and it's so more pleasurable, just especially with dancing. You're hand to hand contact, you're really close to them, you can talk to them, so the experience is way different than with porn. But yeah, it creeps in my mind, but I learned I will not gain anything from it, so I just say it, put it on the side and say, okay, it is for what it is, and just move forward and working on my projects and stuff like that.
I'm glad that you brought up the point of where it's like, oh, just one more time, because how it is. That's how, as an addiction, you always say, and it doesn't have to be for this thing. It's same thing with drinking, and if you do drugs or it's for any addiction. It's even for people that are gamers too. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna play one more level. 2 hours later, you've already played 50 levels. So it's that
Yeah.
this it happens and some people have it more severe. Some people can go, okay, I'll do it one more time or watch one more thing and then that's it, and some people do. And then yet here some other people are, which it's not your fault because you can't help it. I think a lot of people think that when they have these kind of addictions that it's a their problem, and I don't want you to feel like ashamed that you have that problem. It's just something that happens, but it's not a thing, something where it's not untreatable. It's something that you can't break. You do have the power and might to break that addiction, but it does take time and it does take a lot of work. And, but I think if you watch it healthy and don't, if you only do it if you're in the mood, I guess. I don't see anything wrong with that. But if it's affecting you to the point where you're not going to work, you're not having a social life, you're not doing school well, then that's where it becomes a problem. Um, Someone told me that you're not really addicted to it, or you don't have a really severe addiction until it starts messing with your daily routine. If you have to do that 24/7, you can't do anything else, you're not doing anything else, that's when it becomes a problem and that you need to get help. But it is something that overcomes. So kind of moving on from the born land, why is it some men feel like they just are so powerless they can't do anything?
Well, Noah, first I wanted to set or comment on what you said about even though you watch a couple of times, you're not addicted. The thing is, if you drink two beers every single day, you're also addicted to the beer because you cannot have no drink or you just one drink. So the problem with pornography, if you watch this, it messes with your dopamine. So you tell your mind or your dopamine levels like, okay, I watch porn, and it's like, oh, so I'm done now. I had sex with this girl, even though if you're not masturbated, it's like, oh, so I've spent time with this girl, so I'm good. I have enough. And if you keep doing this on every day or a couple of days, it still messes with your dopamine. It's the same with scrolling on your phone. It's designed for you to be addicted to the scrolling. You get so much dopamine hit. So if you keep scrolling every single day, you have no desire to do anything else. So I just want to say, just be careful because it can sleep into your habits, like Noah said. So even though you say I'll just watch for a couple of days or just from time to time, just be careful because it can really mess with you. What I say, just don't watch at all because you have better things to do, and it's better to connect with women in general or with friends than to watch porn because porn is fake. It's not real. It's only for us to get away, and it's not giving you any value. I thought it did. Yeah, I learned things, but it's not healthy. So I just wanted to put it out there. So just be careful when you watch it because it can really damage you in the long term.
You know, if you do happen to watch it later in life. Don't watch it when you're young. I've heard people that said that they watch it when they're 9, when they're 12. It is mind-boggling to me. I'm just like, what? That they already know
It
what
is.
half of this stuff is at like 9 years old. And which I didn't learn until I was 13, 14. So I was kind of like, at that point where you do learn. But some of my friends knew about it in early elementary, middle school, and it was just like, uh-huh. So, you know, don't think that if you're not watching it, you're not cool. I, you're not missing out, really. It's, as he said, it's majority of it is like how movies and TV shows are. It's fake. It's not real. There are some instances where it's real if it's homemade, but these huge production type sites and videos you watch, that's not real. It's actors playing a role. And it's watch TV instead or watch a movie instead if you want to see something like that. I mean, that kind of stuff can be in movies too. So, I mean, but they only did it for like 20 seconds out of a whole hour and a half movie sometimes. So don't get stuck on that. And like you said, there's better other things to do. It's not worth it. Um, the question I asked earlier was, um, why do men feel powerless so much, and how can they reclaim it back?
Well, it's really the limiting belief that you've been conditioned by. So in school, you need to raise your hand to speak. If you want to do something, you get beat down. It's like, no, you cannot do this. So every single day or in your entire life, you've been beat down by yourself. Or if you done something wrong, your parents will beat you like, hey, well, you fool, why'd you do this? And not like that, but just to say it out loud, just you've always been pushed down. And if you wanted to try something new, it's like, no, don't do that. It's too dangerous, or be careful to start a new business because you might fail. It's always about failure instead of achieving. So when men are being taught to not achieve, but to see failure as weakness, they're gonna believe it's not good. I also believe that as well. But if I do something and something happens wrong, I see it as feedback. I will say, what can I change? What can I do next time for me to do it better or do different? But in society today, if you want to do something, no, no, don't do it. It's too dangerous. And so men are always be really cautious now. Like, oh, if I do something wrong, no, especially the nice guys, they are so. I've been there. I've been a super nice guy. So every time I wanted to do something, I was really careful, especially with women because we don't want to make mistakes. And if I made a mistake, people get angry at me. So I keep myself low and quiet. So I don't show myself. I don't exp or I'm not exposing myself. I just keep myself small. So in today, men they're being pushed to be really small, so they don't achieve. As men, we're physically strong. We're really capable of a lot of things. So it's really the system also that we live in that keep the man small. So if you want to achieve something, you have to change the narrative, change how you talk to yourself. If you've done something and it went wrong, say, what can I learn about it? What went wrong? Go back and see, okay, maybe I need to do this and change this. And then if you done it or you did something, pat yourself on the back, like, hey, I did something really good today. I'm really happy. I'm really okay that I tried something new. But nobody's gonna tell you that it's some people will, but what I've learned is that I have to be my own cheerleader. I have to say, well, I did something good, or if I finished a podcast or stuff with the things that I'm doing and it went really well, I said, yeah, I'm happy. I did something really good and smile and feel good about it. And as men, we just pushing ourselves down. I'm not good enough. I'm weak, and you see, she rejected me, so I'm not good enough. Stop doing that. Stop talking yourself so down. Boost yourself up. Say positive things to yourself. That's so important.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people feel so vulnerable when they open up about it because, and I don't know how it is over there, from where you're from in the Netherlands, but here in the States, men tend to have, or society likes to put into men's heads that they're supposed to be the tough ones. They're supposed to be the ones that have thick skin, that never get they don't have nothing depressing wrong with them. They're just a bright of pure sunshine. And while to some men that might be the case, others it's not. Not every man that you're gonna meet is gonna be this strong, powerful, masculine person that doesn't have nothing wrong or going on with him. I guarantee you, someone that you know personally that's classified as this man that's tough skinned, has a great, like, is manly and all that, chances are he's got something wrong that he's dealing with personally that he has to bottle up inside because he doesn't want to showcase that raw emotion that he has because it'll ruin his image, it'll ruin the persona and the stereotype that we have that, oh, you're a man, you're not supposed to be crying, you're supposed to act up and be tough and be macho about it. Um, all of us are not like that, and I think it's important that we break that stereotype because, I mean, we all have a right to open up and be vocal about what we're going through as well. So it's a thing. Why is it that men I gotta ask you this. Are men more open to talk about their feelings from where you're from, or is it the same thing as it is here? They kind of have to bottle it up because they don't want to showcase that softness to them.
Yeah, I think it's just worldwide. It's also again the programming, the conditioning. If I'm not tough enough, then I will be showing weakness. I cannot show weakness because if I'm weak, then I'm a target. We also go back to the cave time. If you are weak and people saw that, they're gonna leave you to die. So we still the brain never evolved to the world that we live in today. So we also we follow the herd. We pretend that everything is okay. It's just also a mechanism for us to keep safe. And you see now a lot of people wearing this mask, like, hey, look at me, my selfie, I'm my amazing life. But deep down inside, most of them are miserable. They don't have the life that they want to live, or the relationships that they want to have. So they're just comfortable. And men, they try to be somebody that they're not. And I did the same. If people told me, hey Vincent, how are you? I would just lie to them. Yeah, yeah, I'm good, I'm okay. But deep down inside, I was crying. I was so hurting. I felt awful. And every time I was just lying to people and they told me I knew something was off, but I will let you figure it out. But I was so afraid to show how I really felt that I was not good enough or that I would be weak and not strong. And women for the same again, I always try to be tough when I am not. I like to be I can cry if I see somebody cry or lady she cries, I cry. I feel her. I feel her pain. I feel her emotion. I'm also highly sensitive as well. So there's also a part, but I have empathy. But still I've learned now that I also need to be in the masculine and also be in the feminine. It's really the dynamic of both. But I was really in the beginning so much in my feminine that I was avoiding conflict. I was not saying no. I was so nice to people, to women, and I've learned it was just, they always say, nice guy finish last. And it's true because if you don't set your boundaries, if you don't speak up or say what's important for you, they just walk over you. And for men, they just try to be somebody that they're not, just to show the world that they're okay, but they're not. I've seen so many documentaries that men pretend to be okay. They wear this mask, and deep down inside, they're so angry, they're so frustrated. They want to beat things up. They go into gangs because they have no one to talk to about. Because if they want to talk about it, they feel weakness. They feel ashamed to talk about the trauma, the pain, the things that are going through. And also, there's no men's group, or not so much. So we try to do everything by ourselves. We try to solve it with ourselves. And if we have a girlfriend, we leash onto, of we vent to her, and she gets upset, and then he gets upset because there's no brotherhood anymore. And we really need to start doing that more. Look for guys that you can talk about your problems, not like um, your traumas or what you're going through, because if you have major traumas, you need to see a professional or somebody can help you. But if you have a relationship is not going well, talk with your friends about, like, hey, things are not going well, what can I do? And they will say, well, maybe dump her or talk to her about it. But you still need to talk about things with your guy friends. If you have problems at work, don't leash out on your girlfriend, because it's not fair to share your problems with her, but you really need to talk more with male friends. And yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know why men are so. I think it's also conditioning. It's also the programming. But really being vulnerable, it changed a lot for me. I just, when people tell me if I'm having a bad day and they ask me like, "Hey Vincent, how are you?" I'm not feeling so good today. I'm just having a rough moment, and I don't know. And they say, "Okay, do you want to talk about it?" Yeah, that would be nice if we can talk about it. So vulnerability is really powerful because you connect so much faster with people. And I really learned to be in balance with opening up to people, but also have my boundaries.
So, how do men rebuild the self-trust after sabotage?
It's really baby steps. It's really, well, the self-sabotage is really how you talk to yourself. So if you're really negative all the time, change to the positive. Go to the gym. Do things that make you feel comfortable and building the confidence. Going to the gym, you will build confidence because you grow your muscles, you feel good. Salsa dancing, also the same. It's really the things that helps you to grow as a man. If you see somebody you're attracted to, or you fancy somebody, just say something nice to her, like, "Hey, I like your outfit," or "Hey, I like your smile." Doesn't mean you have to go on a date with her, but you need to learn to be in the masculinity and really drop the mask and say, "Okay, I'm scared to talk to her, but I'm just gonna say what I feel." So it's really of letting go the mask and letting go of the limiting belief and starting taking those small steps and do the things that you're afraid of, but it's really building the confidence. And for me, it was with women that I want to work on, but for you, it's maybe something different, or for somebody else, it's also something totally different. So it really depends on what your goals are and your desires. But for men to really step into the power is really to let go of who they are, that they think they need to be, and really start to harness who they really meant to be. So if you have some desires, passions, follow those and see where it will lead you.
How does masculine or and feminine energy affect growth?
It's so important because you're only operating from feminine, there is no balance. So you will only, if I, for me, example, if I'm only, I've been in my feminine, but there was no masculine action. So I didn't take any action. I was always overthinking. I was always looking for ways to do things different when I knew I had to take action. And if I'm only in my masculine, then I would be really rude to people. I would be really aggressive. I wouldn't be kind for people if they need help. So, what are you talking about? I know I'm not gonna help you. I don't have time. So it's really learning to be in both the masculine and the feminine, because you have the masculine and the feminine. I have the masculine and the feminine. Women have also masculine, the masculinity energy. But it's really understanding the dynamics of the masculine and the feminine. The masculine is really taking the action, and the feminine is really the nurturing. So I really listen to this person, or I need to help somebody. And it's the dance that you have to learn. It took me, for me, 2 years to really to go more into my masculine, but it's really by doing it. I can read thousands of books about masculinity and femininity, but I have to do it. I have to take action for me to learn how to navigate those energies.
So, what would you say to a man who feels stuck and really needs help getting out of a situation where they just don't really know where else to go?
It's really becoming aware of the problem or the situation that you have, because usually we make it harder than it is. We make life so hard because we're stuck in our heads, or we make it so hard that we don't look for easier solutions. So what I would say, if men are stuck, just be aware, okay, what's going on? Why I'm feeling like this? Why is my life like this? People say, yeah, do journaling. I didn't do journaling. I was really going in my head, okay, what can I do? Not just moping around in my head, but look for ways. Okay, I've done this. What can I change? But there's also a good way for you to write down for tips like, okay, I've done this. What can I do next time? Write it down so you will memorize it and you visualize it. You can see it. Okay, I need to change this. I need to do that. So you always have this feedback. But if you're really having a hard time in life, you feel like life is really against you. You cannot change your mindset. You're so addicted to porn, video games, drinking, social media. Get professional help. And it's also a thing of shame. There were people telling me, "Hey, Vincent, you need to get help." And I just waited for 2 years, and I wanted to do everything by myself. It's also the stoic. I can fix it by myself. I don't need anybody. And I was just looking for answers and solutions. But in the end, I couldn't do it by myself. So I need professional help. So it's also the ego. I had to put aside the ego and say, okay, I need professional help and I need to do this with somebody. So it's really for men, just drop the mask and don't be somebody, or try to be somebody that you're not. Don't look for approval from other people, because you can work so hard for somebody, but maybe tomorrow they forget about you, or they just move on, or they don't see you anymore, or they never saw you in the beginning to begin with. So don't work yourself so hard to please other people. You're not gonna gain anything from it. So really focus on yourself, make yourself the one priority. Take care of yourself, educate yourself, not from the school system, but educate yourself with self-development books, salsa dancing. I do cold exposure that really helped me a lot. Going to the gym. So all these steps for you to work on yourself are really, really important. And it's really, again, trying to be somebody that you're not. You're only gonna please other people when you're just hurting yourself.
What advice do you have for men that are really that are struggling, and what's been some of the best advice you've received, and what has really helped you within your own journey?
And letting go that I can do everything by myself, because again, I need professional help and I was really too proud. My ego was in my way. So really, if you're really struggling, ask for help. Don't do everything by yourself. You cannot solve everything by yourself. If you already solved it, you will be doing it by now. And really look for the right people. So don't go to people that you think, okay, this is not okay. If you talk with somebody and you feel this is not a good fit, you will feel it right away in your heart, in your gut feeling. It's like, okay, this is not, it doesn't resonate, it doesn't feel right. Then don't do it. But really, the best advice that I can give is just be yourself. Try to trust yourself again, and don't be somebody that you're not. The things that I said, just educate yourself, going to the gym, salsa dancing, cold exposure, go into nature, reconnect with yourself. Just look for your authentic self. If you don't have hobbies, look for hobbies, look for interests, for things that you like to do, and don't hide just in your mama's basement when people say that sometimes. But just don't hide yourself away because you don't think you're not good enough. You're powerful. You're here for a reason, and don't waste your life on video games and all that stuff. There's so much more you can do in life, but really it's be a search of yourself. I'm doing podcasting now. It took me decades for me to learn that I wanted to podcast. It can be for you too. Maybe you start with something and then you want to do something else because it doesn't resonate with you, or you want to put it on a hold and you want to come back another time. So it's really learning in life and trying new things, but try them. Don't say, okay, I heard a friend talk about it and he failed, so I'm not gonna do it. How do you know it's not gonna work for you? So it's really the advice that I can give, just explore, have fun, try new things, and explore yourself, your sexuality. Look for ways that you can pleasure yourself instead of just grabbing to porn. There's also other ways that you can do. But again, it's not manly, it's not masculine. But masculinity is really by doing, taking action, and what's really important for you and how you can help other people as well. Because you might have a tough life, but you can also use that in helping other people like we do. I've been through a lot, I've learned a lot, and I use that for helping other people so they can change their life. So don't see it all as a negative thing that happened to you. See it as a positive and change that into the positive and see what you can do with it. But it's really start believing in yourself and don't see yourself as nobody because you're not.
I think that's all great advice. It's something that I want people, guys especially, to know that you don't have to hold and bottle up all your emotions. I've said it multiple times on here, and I'll continue saying it. If you have something to say and you need to talk with somebody and need to share it because it's better to open up about it and talk about it than to keep it bottled up. Because if you keep it bottled up, it'll just get worse and worse for you when the later the later and later you wait on it. So please don't hesitate to open up and share this thing with anyone. It's not worth bottling up and downing yourself all the time over it. I used to be that way. I used to bottle things up and not talk about it, not because I was afraid of people to see that I went manly, but for me it was because I was nervous and afraid of what people would say. And now I'm vocal about it on every platform I'm on. I've shared multiple things and stories with other guests that have been on this show, and I've shared my own experience on here on the podcast, and and I've had such high praise from people that have said thank you for speaking up. So it's just don't be scared to open up. And if you open up someone, they don't take it well, then that's their loss, and you can just move on and cut them out of your life because you do not want that kind of energy either. Is the thing is that you want to be surrounded by a good group of people that are going to be supportive. They won't make fun of you or tease you for it, because shockingly enough, some people out there are like that. Um, but yeah, everything that Vincent said was spot on. Just don't be the main thing that I think me and him are trying to perceive and get across though is don't be scared. Don't keep it bottled up. Um,
The thing what I want to say is, Noah, that you made an important thing about being scared. It's okay to be scared, but you have to express yourself. You have to let it out because I didn't. I kept so many things to myself and I just got mentally ill because I never spoke up. I hold it in. I got really sick, really, really sick because I didn't have energy. I felt I have no energy to do things. I was constantly in this negative mindset, just talking myself down. And I believed that I wasn't getting good or I was not good enough. And I just went down the drain more and more and more. So once I started to change into the positive, I climbed up. Also, I healed myself, traumas and everything that I've been through. I did a lot of work on myself and didn't drop out of the sky in a couple of days and then it's done. I had years and years of working on myself. It's a never-ending journey. But what I want to say is, you're not alone. If you have traumas or things that you're going through, there are more people that are going through the same as you, but maybe in a different way, in different context. but you're not alone. And I talked in the beginning a lot about my porn addiction, and nobody judged me. They actually told me, "Wow, thank you so much, Vincent, for sharing," because more people need to hear about this because there's always taboo on pornography. It sounds really harmless when it took 20 years of my life. So you're not alone. Just if you're afraid, talk with people that you feel comfortable with. If you don't talk to them about your issues because they don't understand, because they never lived it or they never understood or they think they're above you. They're also narcissistic people that you need to avoid and just put them on the side. Ignore them. Don't give any energy to them. Like Noah said, you need to connect and talk with the right people. And once you start doing that, you feel a lot better. You feel finally off my chest. Finally, I can speak, I can talk about it. And that's what we need to do more because like I said, if we just keep holding it to ourselves, we're gonna get sick, really, really sick, and we're gonna get angry and frustrated. And why is nobody listening to me? And if I want to tell them, they don't care. But you're talking to the wrong people. You need to find your tribe. You need to look for the people that really listens and really understands what you're going through. There's also groups on Facebook or talk to Noah or talk to me or somebody else that you feel comfortable and trusting with. But don't keep it to yourself because you're killing off your heart. And it's so powerful to keep that strong because it's beating for you every single day. The heart is so powerful. So don't keep it to yourself, like Noah said, but really learn to start to talk and share little by little until you're comfortable. And then it goes natural. You know right away who you want to talk to with or not, but start sharing and start connecting with other people.
Yeah, he made a lot of good extra points there. The main thing is to just reach out and talk to people. It's the main thing. So, it's I really do hope that people that listen to today feel that they are not alone and that it's okay to be having these thoughts and be able to open up and share it because it you never know, it might help them and they might share it too. Um, Vincent, I appreciate you so much for coming on here and sharing this because one, it takes a lot of guts, and I've said this with a lot of guests, and sometimes I don't say it, but it's not something I had to think about. It takes a lot of courage and strength to share these kind of stories with just the public and with a national audience as well. It's it's really it takes quote unquote a lot of balls. It it really does. It You have to get a lot of courage to be able to open up and to share this with people because most people could never talk about it with their own family, let alone to strangers on the internet and potentially have strangers worldwide listen. So I've always had a huge respect for people and, especially for your like the porn addiction, that's something that a lot of people would not admit. But the fact that you're able to just willingly say, yes, I had this problem. Yes, I was addicted at one point. It, I think a lot of young people would kind of feel related to that, which I shouldn't be saying that, but it's honestly the truth that there are a lot of younger audiences that are younger than me that are so addicted to it. So, um, if and people might have additional questions, today that you've said, and if we didn't get a chance for it to be answered, what are some ways that people can get in contact with you to ask you questions about anything, or if they just would like to kind of keep tabs on you and like to continue and follow you on this journey? Where's the best place that they can find you?
Well, like you mentioned, I'm all over the place. So I'm my YouTube channel is my How to Heart Show podcast, but I'm also on social media. So I'm all the social media platforms except Twitter because for me it doesn't work really well with all these small texts and stuff like that. So I'm all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So you can follow me there. And I also provide 30 minutes of free coaching. So if you're also interested in that as well, you can also do that as well. And yeah, just if you want to ask for something, just reach out. And I don't like to say I hope because if I can't help you, then might somebody else will. And people always say, I hope I can change my life. I hope that things will get better. But it's really taking responsibility of your own life and taking responsibility of the traumas that happened. It happened to you. It doesn't mean you cannot change about it. And also, don't blame other people. Don't blame your parents for the problems that causes you. I know it's some parents are wrong. They hurt people really bad. But again, forgiving. If you learn to forgive the people that hurt you, you will gain freedom. Because I've been bullied a lot in school and I was so angry. I was so frustrated about that. And it really damaged me on a level that I was low confidence. I didn't do anything. I spent a lot of time in my house playing video games because of that, because I didn't feel good enough. But once I learned to say, okay, I forgive them for what they did and forgive myself, I felt better. Not right away, but it's like, okay, I'm moving forward to getting freedom because that's what people want, live in freedom. So that's something that what I really wanted to say is really letting go of what happened and really start to focus in the now. See what you can do now. See how you can change your life now. Because I had another interview a couple of days ago, and he had a similar question like you. And I said to him, in 5 and 10 years, I can read your future. Because if you don't change now and doing the same things over and over again, I know exactly that you're doing the same thing in 5 and 10 years, 15 years. So don't do that. Really, change your life now because life is short. We think we're gonna be 80. You don't know. Maybe you don't wake up the next day or you get hit by a bus or whatever. Make the most of it every single day. Take those small steps. Enjoy life. Don't be like, oh, my life sucks. And no, laugh, smile, dance, enjoy, because that's also part of living. Enjoy your life as much as you can. And yeah, it's painful, it's hurtful, but I've learned I was making my life so hard when I could make it so much better. But it happens for a reason, and it wasn't if all those events didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And it's really how you look at things and really you can be really powerful, but you have to start believing in yourself and your abilities and everything that happened to you. So don't see yourself as a failure, see yourself as who you can become, but it really starts with you taking action today.
You made a really good point that I say all the time. Everyone always says that thing where it's like, well, you make mistakes and that's how you learn from your mistakes. Don't be ashamed for the mistakes that you made because it makes you who you are later in life. Everyone has made some kind of mistake, whether it's been minor or major. Minor as in maybe they've stole a pencil, or they major as you've committed a huge crime. It's a mistake that you made that you can easily fix so that later in life you don't do it again. And so you made a good point, and I'm glad that you made that point that yes, it's we all make mistakes, but it's what we learn from those mistakes. That's what makes us as a better person. So I appreciate you for sharing that. And I'll put all of his links in the description box below. His social media I'll put, and also his podcast I'll put down there as well. If anyone's interested in watching, listening, and would like to check it out, it's all down there. Um, so all of his links will be down there for easy access for you guys, so you don't have to go browsing through the internet finding it. It's all in one place. I'm available on social media as well. So Instagram and TikTok, it's Lethal Venom Podcast. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, it's Noah's Podcast on there. Feel free to follow any of those platforms if you'd like to keep updates on the podcast on the social media side. And as always, follow Lethal Venom wherever you get your podcasts from. It's available on all the major platforms: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Pandora. It's everywhere where you get podcasts from. So feel free to check it out. and subscribe to where you get notified when new episodes come out, so you be first come, first serve. And thank you to all my listeners, and thank you to anyone that has tuned in today. Hopefully, you learned some very, very great insights and learned some good lessons and tips today. Again, thank you to Vincent for coming on the show today and sharing his story and sharing some great advice with me and my listeners. I hope everyone has a great day and a great week. Be safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you on the next episode of Lethal Venom.